Hey there, you guys. It is Friday, December 15th, 2023, and you know what we do here every single Friday. I like to gather around all the interesting news topics that I think I saw this week in the gaming industry, and I share them with you. Things like PlayStation Plus getting tons of cool titles coming to their PlayStation Plus premium and extra tier. We have things like The Last of Us Online getting officially canceled. More information on that and more stuff like that in this video. So stick around if you guys are interested. Do me a favor and like the video if you guys like the video. Please consider subscribing as that does help us out tons. Without wasting any more of your time, let's get right into the very first news topic. And this is all the games coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tier. Um, I'm not gonna list off all the games just because there's a bunch of games that are coming, but there are tons of really cool games that I wanted to highlight, especially because I think this is probably one of the best months for PlayStation Plus titles coming into these tiers. Things like Metal Hellsinger, Mega Man 11, Tinykin, and Strangers of Paradise. These are really cool titles that I don't think are necessarily in of themselves the most interesting. I think if you're into these style of games, yeah, sure. If you've never heard of Metal Hellsinger, it's like a rhythm like shooting game where you shoot demons to like metal music. Tinykin's a really awesome game. Strangers of Paradise isn't a game that I would have ever purchased, but as a huge Final Fantasy fan, I definitely want to check it out. And all of this is getting headlined by GTA 5. With all the hype of GTA 6 coming out and the trailer and everything like that, I think now would be a really good time to hop back into GTA 5 just to check out what it really was. If I'm being honest, I played a game a while ago. I remember like moments, but I don't really remember too much of the actual game just because I only played it the one time back on like the PlayStation 3 and never played any of the subsequent releases or anything like that. So I'm kind of curious to see what was GTA 5 really, because I know a lot of people hype it up as one of the greatest games. It's one of the most sold games. It's gone on forever. And I don't know, for me, it was kind of just a flash in the pan. It was one thing that I played for a little bit, but definitely didn't really play too long. I think I was kind of burnt out on GTA at that time. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for a lot of these titles, and there are a lot of games that I definitely want to check out here. All right, now let's talk about some bad news. This is coming from Naughty Dog, specifically the team that have been developing The Last of Us Online or The Factions 2, whatever you guys really want to call it. This was a live service Last of Us like factions mode that they've been working on for quite a while. And honestly, we've been hearing nothing but terrible news on it this year. Things like there's trouble, they're laying people off, they're getting delayed. They had promised to show us more information in 2023, and we just never received any. And as of yesterday, they finally announced that, yeah, all progress, all development on The Last of Us Online will be officially canceled. This is unfortunate news for fans of the factions mode that originally was in the Last of Us game, the original one. I personally never really played factions, so I don't know what I'm missing out on. I will say though, it does suck to see that all their hard work is just going down the drain, and we will never really see what it was that they were working on. I hope they do find a way to implement, what they did have into something else later on down the road. Maybe like a Last of Us 3 has a multiplayer like mode tacked on or something like that. But overall, I mean, it makes sense. Naughty Dog is a first party studio that primarily makes very single player narrative driven games. Things like Uncharted, Last of Us, etc. So if I have to get one or the other, the multiplayer Naughty Dog or the single player Naughty Dog, I'm definitely going with the single player Naughty Dog. Last week at the Game Awards, they announced DLC coming to God of War Ragnarok. This is God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. It is a roguelike mode that was set to release December 12th. Well, December 12th has passed and the roguelike mode has officially released, and tons of people are playing this free DLC and raving about the action combat that God of War has, the story bits that this adds to the God of War lore. Ultimately, this proves that Santa Monica is one of the best teams, not just working for PlayStation, but just working in video games in general. I think Santa Monica Studios knew that the gameplay of God of War Ragnarok was amazing and it was getting widely I don't want to say under represented, but definitely comes second whenever you think about God of War. You definitely think of the narrative first, the set pieces, cinematography, and the combat is definitely like a means to get through the story. Where this roguelike mode in Valhalla is primarily the gameplay, is primarily focused on destroying your enemies, while adding a lot of really interesting lore bits. Now, I haven't got a chance to check it out just because I've been busy with some other games. I am interested to check it out later, but it's going to take me some time to get to it. But overall, everything sounds like this game is great. Tekken 8 officially released their first demo playable to everybody. Well, right now it's playable only to PlayStation 5. Next week it will be available for Xbox Series X and S as well as PC. I've been playing the Tekken 8 demo and it is everything I wanted from Tekken, really. If everything and more, honestly. I grew up in and out of Tekken, so like I started off with Tekken Tag Tournament, and then I remember being really big into Tekken Dark Resurrection. And it's kind of been a while since I played, as I haven't played really since the PS3 era. And I've been hesitant to hop back into Tekken just because it seemed very much like set in its ways. There's the people that are great at it, and it's going to take a really long time if you ever really want to be good at it. With that being said, playing Tekken reminded me just how much fun this game is at very low levels. When I used to play Tekken Tag Tournament and Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, I was never great at it. But it was always fun just to play with friends and family and just have fun and kind of mess around, kind of as a party game, as well as a game that you can take very, very seriously if you want to. Tekken 8 looks to be very much an evolution on what Tekken has been since Tekken 5. A lot of the same strings, plus addition of like cinematics, awesome story mode, tons of really cool stuff in this game, and I definitely can't wait for the full release in January. If you guys have a PlayStation 5, definitely check out the demo. If you have PC or Xbox, definitely check out the demo next week. We all know that Xbox has been struggling in Japan pretty much since the inception of the Xbox. The Xbox 360 had a small push with things like Tales of Vesperia, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, stuff like that they try to get a Japanese audience, but always seem to come up short. Xbox One, they completely dropped the ball on that, and they've been making waves and trying to repair their damages with the Japanese market since then. Things like partnering with Atlus, Sega, and tons of other different Japanese companies shows that they're serious about Japan. And in a recent interview with Bloomberg, and Menakato, PlayStation executive, proves that Microsoft is very much a necessary part of gaming industry in Japan. They're quoted saying that in Japan, they need Xbox to help grow and help, I guess, think outside the box for what we know a Japanese game to really be. I do think that I don't think Japan really needs Microsoft per se. I do think having a competitive space in Japan is a good thing for the Japanese market. Again, I don't live in Japan, so I can't really speak for them. But the fact that PlayStation and Nintendo Switch completely dominate isn't really a good sign in any of the gaming countries, America included. So Microsoft doing these things to kind of like bring over Japanese titles, I think is a very good thing, not just for Xbox, but for gaming in general. Another awesome announcement at the Game Awards was Marvel's partnership with Bethesda and Xbox, making the Blade game. This looks awesome, to be honest. They recently released concept art that just looks freaking fantastic. But among all this has been some side chatter. A lot of people really point out the fact that in this trailer, there was no mention or sign of Xbox or Game Pass or Microsoft. None of the green machine was really seen in this trailer. It was very much ZeniMax, Bethesda, Arcane Leon, and Marvel project. With, again, no mention of Xbox, no mention of day and date to Game Pass. A lot of more Xbox forward, people and media are saying that it's a no-brainer that this is coming to Xbox, with a lot of other people questioning that maybe it's not as simple as that. And I would say that with the idea that this is a Marvel project, with Xbox always saying how they want to have gaming everywhere, I wouldn't be surprised if the Blade game came to PlayStation as well as PC and Xbox. Only time will tell, but I'm very interested in this game and to see what ends up happening. 2024 is looking to be another amazing non-stop gaming year. We have Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown set for release in January, and with the release date coming up very soon, previews have released to the public. Tons of people got hands-on time with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and a lot of people were reporting how a great Metroidvania this game is, how amazing the combat feels, the animations, the graphics, how the story is pretty great. Stuff like that I feel like I kind of knew from seeing the trailers. This is a game that I would absolutely love, from the way that the combat looks, the traversal, the maps, the area. I was a fan of Prince of Persia back on PlayStation 2. And to see it being in like this 2D form really makes sense for some reason. I don't know why, but this looks really cool. I've been hyped about this game since the original announcement, and to hear that previews are glowing makes me very excited. Again, 2024 looks to be an amazing year, and we're kicking off January super strong with titles like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. E3 died again and again and again. I feel like almost every couple months we hear E3 is dead. Well, E3, the people who run E3, finally came out and announced that they are officially shutting down the E3, presentations. E3 will no longer be a thing anymore in gaming. It hasn't really been a thing for quite some time now, to be honest. So this doesn't really come as a shock or a surprise. Honestly, just comes as like, yeah, we knew this was coming. Everyone knew this was coming. I think no one is surprised by this. There's a lot of people in the media outlets that are like saying how they're gonna miss E3, etc., etc. I'm not them. I don't know. I wasn't really, ever at an E3 presentation. I remember we would get all the trailers afterwards, and I would just watch a lot of trailers. But as far as a presentation, I never really cared for E3. I guess for all the people who would go in person, yes, there's a lot of memories you probably have. But as far as a gaming space, there's just really no need for an E3 with things like a State of Plays, with things like Summer Games Fest, with things like Nintendo Directs. I don't think we really need E3, and I don't think it's really a healthy thing for the gaming, publishers and developers, as far as like putting pressure to like, have something at E3. E3 was always kind of this competition because everyone was all in one space. There was this competition of who has the best E3 presentation, and I feel like now that everything's kind of separated, you can kind of grade each of them on their own merits, as well as some of them don't even have to have showcases. If they don't have anything, they shouldn't show anything. So I'm just excited to see what I guess comes of post E3 world and officially post E3 world, and how we can just really rely on like Summer Games Fest, and these publishers and developers to really hold their own presentations. I want to end this news roundup on a positive note. The BAFTAs awards are coming up quick, and the nominations have officially been posted for all their awards. And I'm happy to say that Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2 are the leading nominations in the BAFTAs awards. Baldur's Gate 3 having 15 nominations and Alan Wake 2 having 14 nominations. This is really cool. If you guys are unfamiliar with the BAFTAs, it is award show without the game trailers, without the Hollywood fluff. It is very much just game awards for the game developers, for the game creators, and all that. It is very exciting to see who might win BAFTAs. Obviously, Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2 will walk away with plenty of BAFTAs, and I'm very excited because that is well deserved. One thing I do want to highlight is the fact that coming into 2023, Alan Wake 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 were both, I don't want to say overlooked, but definitely not at the forefront of everyone's mind. With things like Resident Evil 4, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, there was tons of games to be excited for going into 2023 that I think everyone wasn't really paying attention to Baldur's Gate 3 or Alan Wake 2. So just to see them come out as kind of the underdogs, I guess, and really prove that, we never know what games are going to be amazing, what games might come out. And looking at 2024, I can't wait to see which games surprise us, because as we do know a good amount of titles that look amazing, I'm excited to play the games that I'm not expecting to play and just be mildly blown away by that. Anyways, you guys, that's gonna do it for this news video. Let me know down below what your guys' thoughts are on any of these topics, if you guys find any of them interesting. Remember to go out there, enjoy your weekend, touch some grass, and play some games. With that, I'll see you on the next video.